I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Friday, December the 16th, on a day where your cattle board was moderately lower on fats and mostly steady on the feeder cattle contracts. We noticed our cattle auctions, the feeder cattle, were not as much higher mid to late week as they were in the early week sales. Not to say that they weren't as good, but they just weren't, the trends weren't as much higher compared to the previous week as they were earlier in the week. So we're seeing that this market's kind of planing out here towards the end of the year and leading up into the big holiday break there. But look at some Thursday sales. Farmers and Ranchers Livestock in Salina, Kansas, up in the north central part of Kansas there, had a good sale. The feeder steers were steady to $2 higher, except for those big steers weighing over 800 pounds, those ones that they've been pressing on the last few weeks, but starting to decide that they're not going to be able to tie those to the April board, so they backed off those steers weighing over $3 to $6 lower on them. That just meant that they was really going after them a week ago. And then the feeder heifers were $1 to $3 higher. And one thing we've seen all around this week in the northern plains and the Midwest and places, a lot of these pure hedging corporate feeders have turned to heifers to buy those cattle and try to hedge those. They hedge a lot better, and this time of year cattle feed really well, and cattle have just been feeding really well for the last few years. And if it's going to feed like a steer, why not buy a cheaper heifer? You know, you can also deliver those whenever they mature on your hedge there, so it's not a big deal, and we're seeing a lot more of those turn to heifers to save a little bit of money. But there in Salina, we also noticed on that Cattle Market Central market report that the 6 weights were $3 higher than what the 7 weights were. But then we go into southern Kansas, at Pratt, Kansas, where they had a really active sale there, $2 to $7 higher on everything. And in that sale down just south of there, they had the 7 weights selling almost $3 higher than what the 6 weights were. So it just kind of depended where you were at. But look at a Cattle Market Central quote there on Pratt on Thursday, just after lunch. They had a load of big steers weighing 969, bring 135.85. Now remember, your CME index is based on an 800-pound steer, and it's around 130 right now. So this is working towards 200 pounds heavier and almost $6 higher, but you can tie those big things to that April board and then they'll still finish up in time. That just goes to show you what a big difference that is. The other thing we're looking at is these crazy holiday schedules now. You really got to pay attention to where you go. You don't want to drive 200 miles to a sale and show up and see that they're closed or miss out on a good sale. But a lot of these sale barns are rethinking closing both weeks here, Christmas and New Year's, since the holiday doesn't land until the weekend. So a lot of your early week sales are now going to be having sales. Some of them were anyway. Some of them were reportedly not going to have a sale, and now they are, like Oklahoma National Stockyards is having a sale Monday. Joplin Regional Stockyards are having their sale Monday. Most of your Monday, Tuesday sales will still be open because you know, it's far enough away from Christmas. You don't have to worry. Up through Wednesday, we probably sure won't see anything after Wednesday. The problem is people will still be working, but you can't get those cattle to where they're going and expect to have people there to process those cattle before Santa Claus gets here. But that's your feeder flash. We'll talk to you on Monday.